What's up, everybody? Today we're going to look at a outdoor shower I made out of a refurbished surfboard. So I got this surfboard off of OfferUp or LetGo for about 50 bucks. You can see it's pretty worn out, had a lot of wax on it, and I did some major detailing on it and got it to be somewhat kind of glossy, back to its shiny shape. Got a lot of the bumps and bruises out of it. So I decided to build this by using two PVC pipes that would go within each other, and that would be the mounting. So dug a hole, put a Home Depot bucket, and then put the 2.5-inch PVC pipe in, cemented it in with one bag of Quikrete, and then covered the rest over with dirt, put some river rocks on it, and let that set. So this is showing the Delta cartridge for the shower faucet that I used. I had to block off the hot water as well as the tub portion because all I was wanting was cold water, and it's coming straight from the tap. So here I'm doing some dry fitting of all the fixtures. So the up one goes straight to the shower head, and then I had to make sure that the cold inlet stays directly in line with the center line of the board. And you'll see kind of how that makes a little bit of a U-turn and then goes straight down the center line of the board instead of going up either side. And it'll allow me to put some mounting brackets on the board as well that'll hold the weight of that cartridge. Alright, so now I had to make my triple fin into a 2-fin board. I did this just using a Dremel and just hacking off that fiberglassed in fin. The blade I was using was not a good one. You can see right here it falls right off. So once I got it off, I just kind of shaved down the rest of it just to make it a little bit smoother. No one's really going to see it, but the mounting bracket is going to be coming right there, right down the center line of the board, so it had to be kind of out of the way. So I didn't need to be perfect, but at least needed to be shaved down a little bit, so that's kind of what I did there. And now I'm going to set up to cut the hole for the shower faucet to go. So there's a lot of measurements that go into this because you don't want it to be too high or too low. So based off of my measurements and how I'm going to float this board off the ground, I wanted it to be about 48 inches off the ground. So that's where I got my center. And then I noticed that my hole saw, the hole saw I'm using, wasn't deep enough to go through the entire board. So I was having a little trouble and it was bottoming out on the board itself. So you'll see here how I actually have to start hacking away at some of the foam core. And then there's also down the middle line of the board, there's a piece, it's a wood core, like a stringer right down the middle of the board. So I actually had to hack that away as well just to get more and more depth for that hole saw to get in there. So I was hacking away, drilling more, hacking away, drilling more until I was able to get through the other side. So you'll see that here. So now I poked a hole and now I'm going through the other way, but even that way is not thick. I had no idea that this board was about 2.5 inches thick at its center. So I really had to hack away at it, and by about the third time it went all the way through, and then it was good. There you go, right here is where I break through, and there we go. So that's the hole for the faucet to stick through. And again, I wasn't aware that that was going to be that thick, which almost was an issue putting the faucet together. I'll show you that at the end. So now I'm getting ready to cut the hole for the shower head up at the top. That's a 3/4 inch hole, which is really quite difficult. I used a 3/4 inch wood hole saw, not a hole saw, but kind of like a flanked one, and it was not the right tool. I should use a hole saw, but finding a 3/4 inch hole saw is very difficult, and a 3/4 inch drill bit is gigantic. So it's kind of in a weird place. You can see the drill bit there, and it just hacked that thing to pieces, but I was able to save it. So here we tried to dry run all the fittings, but the water pressure kept popping everything off. So I kind of knew everything was going to work, so I wanted to just start gluing everything together. So you'll see I got the PVC glue there, and now I'm starting to take all my dry fittings and glue them together. So that glue is like super glue when it comes to PVC fittings. So a good 10 or 20 seconds and it's rock solid. So I start to go through each one here, make sure they're dry, and just really take my time and put together the fittings exactly how they're supposed to be. So that's what I'm holding in my hand, is what connects directly to the hose, which is off of the spigot on the wall. So the way I wanted to build this whole outdoor shower was that I had one connection to a hose, and then I could lift the whole board out and take it inside. So we have a lot of hurricanes here in Florida, and I didn't want this thing sitting outside during a hurricane, so I can cut the water off, disconnect the main hose line, and then take the whole thing right off the PVC pipe and bring it all inside. So here's the main 3-inch PVC pipe, which is a thick walled pipe, as you can see. And now we're coming up with a way to mount it to the board. So this is pretty crucial. That's it. All the weight of the board is hanging on this pipe. So I decided to drill directly into the board through the pipe. I caught 2 screws, and you'll see those here. Right now I'm over there judging how to make a notch. So I need to make a notch. The whole idea was to bring the hose through the PVC pipe that's in the ground right now, but I filled that pipe full of dirt by mistake and wasn't able to, so maybe one day. But now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get my drill bit all the way through the pipe, and I just eyeballed it and was able to do it somehow. So I'm going to catch 2 into the surfboard at least to get it in there, and then I used some brackets around the pipe itself to really make it stop from rolling back and forth around the pipe, and that really helped, and it was pretty solid after that. So right now I'm using an ice pick to pierce the fiberglass so I could give my pilot holes. So I send the ice pick through and crack the fiberglass, so at least I know where it is underneath, and then I line up the screws and I'll put them in. So right now I'm lining up that one so I know where it is, and then I'll pop the second one once it's set. So right there. So now I'm going to pop that one, and I couldn't find it. I guess I don't know. I didn't press hard enough, I guess. So I'm just making room for the ice pick. There we go, and now we popped it, so now we got it. So I drilled my pallet hole, filled it full of liquid nails just in case. You can see some of the brackets that are holding the cartridge and the other plumbing up. Once those things are in there, I could really, I mean, that plumbing wasn't going anywhere. It was rock solid. So here I was struggling with how to get the screw through, and I ended up using a piece of tape to hold it in there while I got it set. So now those are in. At least now it's on the board and it's supporting its own weight, but it definitely couldn't support the whole board, and it was going to rock back and forth on those screws, and then eventually they would open up and get loose. So I used this strapping here, like I said, and was able to not use that. I just ended up bending it. And then again, pilot screws are really important, pilot holes for these screws through that fiberglass, because just under that fiberglass is foam, so you're not going to really catch and bring something in, but it's definitely going to hold. So I filled each one with liquid nails again just to be sure. You'll see that here. I put it in halfway, put some liquid nails on it, drill it in. That really made it super solid. So I put another one down by the fins, And that one I needed to bring up a little bit more. So you can see here, this is the test fit. And right here, we're struggling to catch the long screws into the cartridge through the board because it was 2.5 inches long. So we're really pressing on it, compressing that weather seal in there in order for it to catch. And we just barely got some threads on it, so that was good. And now I'm adjusting the handle. Once we purged the cartridge, I had to take out all the air. There we go. So there's the final look. Came out really nice, able to spin around, easily removable. You can see all the plumbing there, really simple. There's the hose from the wall, right in.